Holidays. They're the spice of life. They're times where you can escape from the hustle and bustle of the world, from the chaos of the everyday. Holidays are times where you form closer bonds with people you're already close to, or form connections with those you would have passed on the street back home. But what if every day of your life was a holiday? What if you had no commitments, no responsibility, no obligations to take a break from? What if you lived in such a bubble where the line between work and rest was invisible? Imagine that. Well, actually, we don't need to imagine, because as ever with Jahans, we are provided with a very visceral example of civilization in decadence. This video is going to be a blow-by-blow analysis of Jahans on holiday. We are going to taste a cocktail of sabotage, of deceit, of desperation. This is Jahans forced into a situation he doesn't want to be in. He's a square peg in a round hole. He's dragged away from the comfort of the familiar surroundings that he yearns for in the deepest corners of his soul.
I left early for the holiday.
Actually, no, this isn't where I want to start. Let me acquaint you with Jahans' relationship with the two ladies in his life, his mother and his sister. Let's start with Jahans talking about his mother.
By my mother, who likes to tell me at length about how she's going to go to Peru and about how she's going to go on this holiday and that holiday, and how this my mother who will spend £10 on bunting. My mother who will buy tons of fancy bedding sets that she never uses. My mother who will get actively annoyed and angry when I try to talk her out of just signing up to the most expensive tablet on a contract that she doesn't even want and can't bloody use because, well, the guy in the shop's being nice, so I must talk to him. My mother has decided to cut me off and has said, I fucking quote, benefits or food bank. My mother, fucking jet setter, fucking filthy stinking rich, retired with a job just to top things off. She's got a good job working for a charity, right? She's someone who has only ever worked for the government or charity. She has not actually, worked someone who was not being paid for by the taxpayer or charitable organisations. And she basically has bought into the Tory lie that, well, you're just lazy. No.
And now, Jahans talking about his sister.
And I scared my sister. I scared my goddamn sister. All this time I thought she had her phone with her because she was a fucking socialite girl who likes having her phone with her all the time, and it turns out the reason that she always has it with her is because she's terrified of me.
So as you can see, Jahans is both a loving son and a loving brother. And with that context, let's start the analysis proper.
I left early for the holiday. And there were problems of like I had a hole in my trousers that I didn't know about, and so we had to stop and buy new trousers at the service station.
This is Jahans's first attempt at sabotage. So much does he despise the idea of being dragged away from his computer screen that he is willing to humiliate himself in public in order to return to the status quo. Although he says he didn't know about it, Jahans very deliberately chose a pair of trousers with a hole in them.
It wasn't like the hole was in a rude place or anything. It was just like leg stuff. But it was just like, yeah, we probably shouldn't have holes in trousers. So got that sorted.
So Jahans has a hole in his trousers. He's wearing them to get a reaction. He's wearing them to get a reaction out of the two people who are accompanying him on this holiday, his sister and his mother. And he's hoping that their reaction will be the, oh, the shame kind. The, we can't go on holiday now as you have nothing appropriate to wear sort of reaction. He's hoping for that. But Jahans's mother is also playing this game of 4D chess. And so she stops off at a service station to buy him a pair of trousers. Jahans's first attempt at sabotage is thwarted. He resolves to try harder.
And then, of course, we went to see family members, and it's like, whatever you do, don't talk politics. And so it's like, oh, what book are you reading? Oh, literally 7 pages into the Communist Manifesto.
The second attempt at sabotage, his mother has specifically asked Jahans not to talk about politics to the family that they are visiting because it's likely it alienates them. Jahans is unable to hide his power level when it comes to talk about current affairs. It is unthinkable to Jahans that anybody, let alone his own family, would have a different view of the world than him. Whatever you do, don't talk politics is his mother's request. So the first thing that Jahans ensures he talks about is the Communist Manifesto. This is a calculated move designed to cause maximum damage.
And of course I ended up having a massive argument about, bloody about technological unemployment, as this guy is like, no, I really want to reassure you that there will always be jobs. I mean, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever, because as technology improves, it will be able to do the jobs, because it just will, because that's how fucking progress works. And they're like, but in the Industrial Revolution, they said they were going to get rid of jobs. Yes, but the fucking mills weren't fucking smart, right? The fucking telegram machines weren't intelligent. They did not have neural fucking networks. We are in the age of big data. We are in the age of algorithms. We are in the age of neural networks and machines that program themselves. Like, things have changed!
Of course. Of course he started an argument with a family member who quite reasonably pointed out that it is entirely possible for Jahans to get a job. It is likely every time that Jahans sees this family member, talk often turns to Jahans's state of unemployment. But Jahans has come prepared, stoked on the arguments of techno-progressivism, ready to underwrite the facts, knowingly sweeping precedent under the rug in favour of a current year argument. It's 2017, man, and Jahans, who spends 95% of his time lying on a bed, engaging in hedonism, Jahans knows it all, and you know nothing.
And that was fun. That was fun. Made a complete and utter cock up of that, I did.
Take note of the knowing smile that falls across Jahans's face. There's a pride in his behaviour here. He is boastful, almost, of his ability to rub people up the wrong way. and also his one-upmanship over his mother, his opponent in the 8D chess game that is this holiday.
But then we did see the sort of the main event, and it turns out basically I'm going to be living in the British equivalent of a trailer park, maybe. It's my mother's latest fad. At some point, I'm fairly certain that I'm going to get a fairly serious suggestion of like, yes, why don't we live on the moon?
Jahan's inability to bring in an income stream to contribute to the current household has his mother soberly considering alternative realities. This one sees a future where Jahan's and his mother are residents of a static caravan. This is a woman who has worked all her life, but didn't expect to be supporting her son well into his late 20s, and likely for the rest of his and the rest of her life. Her finances are strained. Their current situation isn't sustainable. So the very realistic option of living in a caravan has to be brought to the table. But Jahan's unable to think long-term, unable to feel the flames around his feet, dismisses her as a fantasist, whose latest suggestion is akin to living on the moon.
She seems very serious this time, that like, yes, trailer parks, that's the way of the future. And I'm just like, yes, but you seemed pretty darn certain last time. So, yeah.
Observe the dynamic here. Jahan's is a passive entity. His mum is the only one coming up with any suggestions, and the only one somberly considering the future. Jahan's role here is as armchair critic. Jahan shows no initiative.
There was a funeral exhibition. I could not resist going to the funeral exhibition. I felt so very naughty, but I could not resist going. Because basically, after 2016, yeah, I could not resist it. Like, I just could not go check it out.
Jahan's again takes the upper hand in this game of 16D chess. His mother has confronted him with this caravan in order to show him the error of his ways and to shake him into action. But instead of doing that, Jahan's has deliberately chosen to make his mother think that he is suicidal at her suggestion. He wants her to think that her actions are responsible for him wanting to die. That's why he goes out of his way to detach himself from the main party to go to a funeral exhibition of all places. Jahan's knows what he's doing. His goal is to return back to his bedroom, so he will do anything to cut short this holiday, even if that does mean tricking his loved ones into thinking he is considering suicide.
The thing that kind of surprised me is how utterly capitalistic it was. Like, there were funeral branded coffee cups and funeral branded wine glasses and funeral branded mints, and it's like, oh, here's a stall selling embalming tools, and right beside a whole bunch of pretty young girls, pretty young women who all look the same and are wearing low-cut black dresses in order to try and sell people on sort of funeral stuff, right? They had fucking booth babes at a funeral exhibition.
I am 99.9% sure that these were not booth babes, nor were they half as pretty or as scantily clad as Jahan's makes out. They were likely just young women doing their job, all the while Jahan's is ogling at them in the corner of the room, like a lecherous sleaze.
Right? Like this fucking child coffins the way over, and they've got fucking booth babes. Okay, this is a thing that I did not expect.
It isn't the funeral that's sexualizing these women at work. It's Jahan's. Contrary to what he may profess to be, Jahans is very definitely a misogynist, and he will objectify and sexualize women at a moment's notice.
That was insane. Surreal and insane. And that was probably the whole best part of the trip. We stayed in a hotel that was horrendously crap.
Of course the hotel is horrendously crap. Of course it is. It could be the Ritz or the Savoy, and Jahans would find it horrendously crap. Jahans is in a mindset where he wants to hate everything and anything that comes his way. He's a negative Nancy, and we will see that manifest as he takes on the mantle of hotel inspector.
And the walls were incredibly thin, so I heard the couple next door having a very nice time of things. Very nice time of things. Yes. She was definitely a screamer, that one next door. Yeah. Must admit, I did find myself laughing my head off a bit at that. Just because it's like, oh, we're in that kind of hotel, are we?
Try and put yourself in someone else's shoes. You finally secured yourself some time off work, so you've arranged a weekend getaway with your girlfriend. Great. Fantastic. You check into the hotel where, let's be honest, you're likely to be spending the majority of your time. And just as you're getting intimate, you hear a Jahanic laughter bellowing out from the other side of the wall.
And then there was the fact that, like, the loos were just a death trap. Like, I mean, mine wasn't quite such a death trap, but it was not good. It was clearly quite blocked up to the extent that, you know, in the morning I all I will say in sort of justification of this before I say it is I was very, very tired, and I had nature telling me I needed to do this before my brain had properly booted up and think, okay, what about the logistics going on here? Because basically, it was an incredibly filled up toilet. I tried to go for a piss. It rebounded. My feet were soaked in piss.
I assume that toilet-related deaths are very rare, but of course Jahans' toilet is a death trap. Of course it is. I'm sure the pillows and the duvet are also a threat to life. But the main headline here is that Jahans has urinated all over his feet. This is the next act of sabotage, and his most extreme and desperate. Jahans' reasoning behind this is that if he has urinated all over his feet, then he won't be able to do the following day of the holiday, as he hasn't got any spare socks. It's worth bearing in mind that this is a 25-year-old man we're discussing here. Anyway, Jahans' mother has anticipated this. She has experience playing this game of 32D chess with her neat son, and she has packed a spare pair of socks so that this holiday can continue.
Yeah. And then there was a zoo. I do not like zoos.
Again, Jahans is in a mindset whereby anything he comes across he will not like, because his view is coloured by a deep desire to return to his wank pit.
Yeah. Going around this incredibly baking hot zoo filled with screaming children and, you know, and certain members of my family who have a decent set of lungs on them themselves because they were screaming their fucking heads off at every kind of animal, just like, ah, it's the thing! Look, it's a monkey! Eee.
Jahans is raging at things completely out of anyone's control. It's hot, it's loud. If Jahans entered a different mindset, he'd really enjoy this trip to the zoo. But Jahans hates anyone showing any expression of fun at the things he is actively trying to dislike. In this case, his sister is enthusiastic and Jahans will do anything to see her as miserable as he is.
I swear, like, genuinely, we stopped to eat lunch, and it was just non-stop. This family member was just non-stop squealing about fucking newts. Newts in a snow leopard enclosure, by the way. It's not like the, oh, polite thing of, oh, look, there's a newt in the newt thing of the newt stuff of, yeah. No, this was just, like, literally, there was a bit of pond stuff by the window. And they were just going, ah, I'm a newt!
How dare his sister enjoy this place designed to elicit fun? How dare she? You must sit in a morose fashion, expressionless, with a face as though someone has died, paying no attention to your lively surroundings. You must be this way because I am being this way. This is the selfishness of Jahans on display.
My ears were ringing, and I was so hot and so tired and in so much pain because basically, thanks to my GHD, I need to take pain pills about every 6 hours. And we stayed in there a long time, past the point of taking pain pills.
The game of 64D chess has now arrived at yet another point of sabotage. Jahans has deliberately left his medication at the hotel so that he would be able to cut short the zoo trip and thus return home earlier than was initially planned. This was Jahans' ace in the hole. But his mother is having none of it. She and her daughter will carry on enjoying this holiday and Jahans will have to wait.
I was practically ready to murder someone. Just so tired, so stressed, so can't deal with people. And there was one moment where it's like this family member who loves zoos and is like, yay, zoos, monkeys, right? She says with glee and enthusiasm, no, these are the world's second loudest animals in the world. And I'm like, and you want to go see these things?
Jahans is just doing his best, his utmost, to kill any enthusiasm his sister has for this zoo. He's dragging his feet, he's mocking and deriding her suggestions.
If I saw a thing saying, advertising the second loudest thing in the... I would be like, okay, then we're going away from it. We're going fucking away from it. But no, we began our zoo trip with the second loudest animal in the world, which is a gibbon, and just them howling their heads off, and it's just... I tried to be quiet and respectful and not kind of be a dick about the fact that I was just in absolute agony. But I think it might have ever so slightly destroyed my brain.
Oh, what I would have done. What I would have done to have witnessed Jahans meet this gibbon. The two catching each other's eyes through the enclosure, Jahans beginning to empathise somewhat with the gibbon's imprisonment, and then the two, both Jahans and Gibbon, spurging out at each other, the fracas broken up by both the zookeeper and Johannes's mother.
So it was hell. Because just so, I mean, I have very good rules and laws, and I have good anger management and stuff, but there was very definitely a moment on the drive back when I needed loo, and I said, okay, at services, I'm just gonna go to loo. I'm just gonna go to loo first. At service, I'm just going to go to loo. And so at the services, I just headed for the fucking loo. And this person just followed after me, and I just turned around to them and just sort of found myself saying in this sort of, icily quiet voice, just like, I don't care, fuck off. And I was surprised at how fucking, viciously angry I sounded. But it was just, the end of a very, very long couple of days.
Johannes is split from the car so fast that his mother and sister couldn't tell him that they were going to sit in the cafe as they wait for him to do his business. They aren't just going to wait in the car. Maybe they want a hot drink or a sausage roll. But Johannes doesn't care. He runs away. So his sister follows after him in order to tell him where they'll be. And in what is the worst move in this 128D chess game, Johannes ruins his sister's holiday. He swears at her and screams in her face, thus rounding off what would have been a magical holiday for his sister, and turning it into yet another memory ruined by her scary brother. Now maybe you've behaved this way on a holiday. Irrespective of how much money has been spent accommodating you, you're still not grateful. The very idea of an all-expenses-paid holiday is an inconvenience, a distraction from your life of distractions. We sometimes need to take a step back and be thankful for the things we have. Sometimes you need to allow other people to enjoy something, even if you don't. And sometimes, sometimes it's good to just venture outside your bubble and be a goddamn human being.